Welcome to Metals, Money, and Markets. We are at January 20th, 2018 for MiningClips.com and the Stock Pulse. I'm Rob Goodman, and as always, Mickey Fulp, the mercenary geologist, will break down the info. Well, Mickey, before we get things going here, I guess the top story is the government has shut down. Let's spin right into it here with a little mixed bag in the metals, but gold and silver off.
Yeah, well, I'd say yippee-ki-yay to that if we could furlough a bunch of those 2.8 million federal employees that do nothing but suck up our tax dollars, we'd be better off. But the market didn't care. So precious metals are down over the week despite a weaker U.S. dollar. Gold appears to be at resistance at this point, bouncing up to this 1330 range and not really wanting to go much above that. It closed this week at 1331, down 0.6%, down $8 for the week. Silver lost a quarter. Silver still sucks. It closed at $17. Palladium lost 1.6%, but you've got to bear in mind it's bouncing off its all-time high last week. It closed at 1096, and the one that really bucked the trend was platinum. And I told people it's going to make up ground at some point, and it certainly did this week. Went way above 1,000, came back down a bit, closed at 1,010 for a 1.7% change. And that's really affected our ratios this week. Gold and silver up over 78. We haven't seen that. It's been pushing that. We haven't seen that in 6 weeks at 78.3. The platinum to gold and platinum palladium ratios have come off significantly up above their all-time lows. 0.71 for platinum and gold. It's at 0.76, and the platinum palladium ratio actually made big gains this week too.
And meanwhile, copper off a couple ticks here.
Yeah, copper's in backwardation, which is quite unusual in a very bullish market with a shallower forward curve going out 6 months. January and February backward. And this has all to do with the pending Chinese New Year, where the country shuts down for the better part of 2 weeks. BDI, Baltic Dry Index, continuing that theme with it at a 5-month low. And also, I think what's going on, copper's consolidating. You know, it pushed up towards 330, and I think it's consolidating in this around 320 range right now. It closed the week at 318, down 1%.
And move over to the energy markets here. Oil finally takes a breather, and uranium keeps that slide moving on.
Well, I think that oil is also at resistance. It's bouncing at $64, a little bit above, a little bit below. It closed, was off 40 cents yesterday, closed 63.57, down 1% for the week. Lots of stuff going on in the oil market. Rig count in the U.S. down -3. Inventories, this is really significant, down 7 million barrels, another 7 million barrels. Venezuela is cratering faster than anybody expected, down another 200,000 barrels per day for the month of December. Other things, shale forecasts are across the board predicting explosive growth in U.S. shale oil as we go forward. Right now, there's 1,700 drilled but uncompleted wells, shale wells. So that as the price continues strong, that production is going to come roaring ahead. And finally, OPEC Russian cuts looks like they could end in 6 months with a balanced supply demand for WTI.
And moving on to the currency markets, the dollar slide continues. Euro rallied nice, and the loonie was off again.
Yeah, the dollar continued weak at a plus 2-year low. I expect that to continue. Loonie lost a little bit, but not much over the week. The Bank of Canada, the real news there was the Bank of Canada had another rate increase. They are now at 1.25%, equal to the U.S. Loonie closed just above 80 cents, down 0.2%. Euro gained 0.3%. U.S. dollar closed below 91 once again at 90.6 cents. 6 cents, pardon me, for a 0.3% loss.
And finishing up with these equity markets in the U.S., everything's black here, but nothing really to write home about here.
Well, all the markets closed at record highs or just off. The Dow hit its record high on Wednesday. Dow closed at 2672 upper percent. S&P 500 all-time high at 2810 up almost percent. Nasdaq up 1% at 7336. Get this, Rob. All these markets closed at their daily highs yesterday. They started a little low and just kept going, marching forward and forward.
Yeah, and I should mention, we talk about the venture, is if the audio quality is a little off, folks, we are on the fly here in Vancouver for the VRIC, but the venture up a little bit here this week.
I think you ought to explain what the VRIC is. I don't even know what it is, Rob.
That would be the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia.
Thank you very much. I hope we keep saying the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference and not go to some acronym that no one understands. So the Toronto Venture Exchange gained 2 points over the week on much lesser volumes. Big volume drops this week. Gold stocks are doing pretty well, but it kind of had a mixed to negative week because the bubbles are starting to burst, and that would include lithium, weed, and the cryptos, all down for the week.
Okay, Mickey, we'll look forward to seeing you at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference here. We'll have the cameras going, and we will get some good content. So I appreciate the insight, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Rob, thanks.